Now on WKRG News 5.
The president is set to unveil steps to curb gun violence. We'll have the latest.
Plus, victims of recent tornado damage in Mobile may not qualify for federal assistance. We've got details.
Lots of showers and cooler temperatures on the way. We'll talk about it in your Weather on the 5s.
From WKRG News 5, the Gulf Coast news leader in high definition. The news starts now.
Good morning to you at 6 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. We're glad you're with us today. I'm Devin Walsh.
And I'm Bill Riles. Thanks for watching, everyone. First on 5 this morning. Today, President Obama will outline his plan for curbing gun violence, and his proposals will include more than just gun control measures.
Susan McGinnis has the latest from Washington.
Gun dealers nationwide are trying to keep up with demand. Clive Cordy says sales have doubled at his Quincy, Illinois shop since the president started pushing for gun control.
Any semi-automatic with a large capacity magazine in it, that seems to be the popular thing right now.
The president wants to ban military-style assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, like those used in the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary. The package she presents today is also expected to call for criminal and mental health background checks for all gun buyers, including those buying at gun shows. The National Rifle Association says it will fight the president's plan and released this ad once again pushing for armed guards in schools.
Are the president's kids more important than yours? Then why is he skeptical about putting armed security in our schools when his kids are protected by armed guards at their school?
When the president makes his announcement, he'll be joined by children who wrote to him about gun violence after the Newtown school shooting. Many of the proposals are expected to resemble the law New York State just passed that includes efforts to keep guns out of the hands of the mentally ill. The president wants more training for school counselors and first responders who may detect signs of mental health problems.
The president is committed to this. He believes it's a high priority, not just for him, but for the country.
The president can use an executive action to push through some proposals, but he will need Congress to pass the most controversial measures. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Washington.
It could be a while before Congress takes up the issue. A top Republican says it will be at least 3 months before the Senate addresses gun control legislation.
Well, we talked to law enforcement officers in our area about some of the gun control proposals. Many of the officers told News 5 they are against drastic gun control legislation, including a ban on semi-automatic firearms. They say reinstating the federal assault weapons ban, which expired in 2004, won't keep guns out of the hands of criminals. Officers also disagree with a White House proposal banning the sale of high-capacity magazines.
It's not the assault rifle or the high-capacity magazine or the full auto weapon that I'm afraid of. It's the person or individual behind the trigger of that weapon.
The people that register their guns, get pistol permits, these are the people that are less likely to use these weapons in criminal acts.
And many of the officers are in favor of not allowing mentally ill individuals to own a firearm. Some even mentioned they'd like to see some type of mental history database created similar to the suspect or offender's criminal record. Officers can access that in responding to emergencies. A sheriff in Oregon says he won't enforce any new gun law he deems unconstitutional. He's even sent a letter to Vice President Joe Biden. Linn County, Oregon Sheriff Tim Mueller says he is against any legislation that would prevent law-abiding citizens from having certain firearms and ammunition magazines. Mueller says no crime should prompt politicians to take away liberties. The letter has been posted on the Linn County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. It's already gotten more than 25,000 likes and nearly 6,000 comments.
One of the most popular fishing seasons on the Gulf Coast is under fire again. Red snapper season will be the subject of a public meeting this evening in Orange Beach. We'll have details on that in just a minute, but first, this year's red snapper season will be the shortest on record, lasting only 27 days. It starts June 1st with a 2 fish per person limit. The federal government says the shorter season is necessary because there is not enough red snapper in the Gulf to support the demand. But Alabama started cultivating the red snapper population 20 years ago with an artificial reef system that's the largest in the world. And it's worked, according to local fishermen.
To me, it's crazy that here's what you want. We spend 20 years doing it, millions of dollars doing it, and then you can't use it. It's our government at its finest.
They will try and make some sense of it all tonight in Orange Beach at a public meeting with the Gulf of Mexico Fisheries Management Council. It starts at 6 o'clock at the Hilton Garden Inn.
And there's some good news for the Gulf Coast economy, especially if you're looking for a job. A maritime job fair is set to begin this morning from 8 o'clock until 4 this afternoon. You can talk to industry representatives. They need both skilled and unskilled workers to fill positions at several companies in the area. You can go to the AIDT Training Center on Adsco Road in Mobile. Again, the job fair starts at 8 o'clock this morning.
Now, your weather on the 5s.
It is 6:05 on this Wednesday morning. John Nodar is with us to talk about when we will see the sun.
How about tomorrow afternoon?
Okay. All right. Well, it's
Look,
close.
you got a time?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, what time?
we're a little desperate here. Can we
12:45 p.m.
can we
tomorrow.
narrow that
Okay.
down a little bit?
All right. We can wait that long.
I don't know what time. Let's take a look, show you what's out there as we open up with this. It's the Complete Anglers Coast Cam looking out across Mobile Bay. It's actually looks pretty good here, but it's so dark you can't see the gray skies above. Let's take a look at what's going on in your forecast. And, well, possibility of showers pretty good today, actually, 70% or better. 51 by 9 a.m. That's your daytime high. Temperatures will actually go down from there. We'll keep the rain chance, cooling temperatures through the 40s by lunchtime. Probably mid-40s about the time most folks are heading home, with a northwest wind around 10 to 15 miles per hour. All right, let's take a look at Daphne, and this is the Alpha Skycam looking out over the Bayway and the Causeway. It's gray skies above, a little bit of fog below, but you should be able to make it across the Bayway without too much trouble. There is a cold front that will finally start moving today, and that means colder air will start to find its way into our neighborhood, along with mostly just rain showers. Now, by tomorrow morning, yes, some of this rain could turn into rain mixed with sleet and maybe a flake of snow, but don't be looking for anything to stick to the ground, just enough to make things kind of oogie. Heavier rains over the Florida Panhandle right now. That's where the frontal boundary is. You can see that, well, ahead of it, temperatures in the 70s, behind it in the 40s. And remember that our temperatures will generally cool through the day today. So 51 for your high early, 70% rain chance. Skies do clear by Thursday afternoon, and by Friday it's nothing but sunshine.
All right, thanks, John. News 5 continues. Tornado coverage you can count on. Tornado damage in Mobile may not be bad enough to qualify for federal disaster assistance. City officials are still trying to get the state to ask the federal government for a disaster declaration after 2 December tornadoes in Midtown. Mobile Mayor Sam Jones says the state has to show more than $6.8 million in uninsured losses. Right now, city expenses for the storm fall far short.
I think it all comes to about $680,000 in terms of the services that we had to provide that's not reimbursable at this point for us, unless FEMA makes a declaration. The other loss would be private homeowners, businesses, and that number is real hard to put your arms around.
Well, Mayor Jones says he will meet with state emergency management officials today. Federal recognition could mean disaster money and aid.
We're learning more about the cost of rebuilding Murphy High School in the wake of the Christmas tornado. The damage is estimated at $10 million. The school board has approved $8 million. Half of that will come from their capital budget. The other will be borrowed from the board's $100 million bond. Any insurance money will be put into repaying that $8 million. Facilities manager Tommy Sheffield says it will take upwards of $35 million to get Murphy back to what it was at one time. $10 million will get phase 1 accomplished, which is just enough to get students back on the campus this August.
Still to come on News 5 this morning, thieves make off with a valuable collection of comic books.
We'll tell you all about that coming up next. It's 9 minutes past 6. Keep it here on News 5.